So we'll change those in so we get our friction calculation there. And then we're going to add some longitudinal slope. And again, I'm just plugging in a number. This is not anything that's been measured by me. We're just doing this so we get some numbers out of the system. Alright, so we'll hit enter there. And we'll make sure that all of those values held. And now the next thing we need to do is run our design. We'll change this to a 2-year computation. We'll click OK. Okay, line 8 has no flow. Let's go back over to line 8 and let's put some flow in there. Run it again. Alright, now we have some flows. So here we see, this is pipe number 1. We see we've got a 24-inch pipe at 8% slope. Things falling pretty quick. We can change pipe sizes. I'll go ahead and change that up to a 30-inch pipe in this location. We'll move over to our move up in the pipes. Here's pipe number 2. Let's change that one to a 30-inch pipe also. We'll keep going up. Here's pipe number 3, 4, 5. You can see our hydraulic grade lines showing up in our calculation. Got a little hydraulic jump right there coming into that structure. But those are our pipes. So from here, we'll save that file. We'll click OK. Now we can close out of our storm sewers. I'll come back in, click on the pipe, and this time I want to import a file. We'll pick out my STM file, click OK. It's going to ask me to update the existing pipe network or create a new one. I'm going to update the existing. So I click there. And we'll close the event viewer. Hit escape. And now we can see that our pipe has updated. Now if I go to this pipe and go to pipe properties, we can see that we've imported that particular pipe network back into our drawing. So now instead of having to go outside, back inside and everything, we can do all of our pipe calculations from the same file. Alright, now let's go and look at some of the new functionality inside our surveying tools. This is going to be using some field to finish techniques. So I've opened up the drawing. I want to open up a couple of other files, so give me just a second here and let me go to my desktop and go to my computer. Let me find these other two files right quick. And let me open Fieldbook 1. And let me open Fieldbook X. And we'll start with Fieldbook X. Let me drag this out where we can see it a little better. Alright, so Fieldbook X. This is a typical entry that we would see in a field book. I'm going to highlight this line right here. So here we're beginning a top of curve line, and we've got our vertical angle, our point number, vertical angle, horizontal distance, azimuth, and a description. Now, like I said, this is our typical field book format, what we're used to seeing. I'm going to close this field book, and I'm going to drag the other field book up, expand that one out, and then I'm going to go down to a line that's very similar. If I go to this line right here that I've highlighted, you can see that we're still at point number 105, our angle, our distance, azimuth, everything is the same, but now you see we have top of curve 1 begin, then we have a horizontal offset of 0.5, a horizontal offset of minus 0.1, and a vertical offset of minus 0.5. With our new technology that we have inside of Civil 3D, we can actually create line codes, and in those line codes, this information, the H's and the V's and the B's, actually stand for a command inside the survey language. So here we're telling it we're beginning a top of curve, but we're also offsetting that line, this amount, horizontally and vertically. And until we end that command, every time we have a TC1 point in our drawing, we're going to get that same offset applied to it. So let's close that out, and let me get back to Civil 3D. So now we're back into Civil 3D, and I want to go over to my Survey tab, and we've got a line work code set. This is where we specify how the line work's brought in. Let me open our survey database, and I want to edit that line work code set so that you can see it. And all we're doing is assigning what variables we want to use as special codes to create line work in the field. Instead of having to go in and use the old field book format, this will apply to XML files, it'll apply to ASCII files, it'll still apply to field book files, but it'll work with any of those type of files. So there's where we would set our line codes for how these files are brought in. So now if I'm on the Home tab, I want to import survey data. So there's my survey database. We'll click Next. I'm going to bring in a field book file. Need to select the source file. We'll bring in field book 1. I'm going to re-import it. And here we have a dialog box on the re-import where we can set our properties as we import our data. So I'll click there. It's going to delete the old points. It's going to come back in and re-import the new points. And as we're going through, we're going to see screen graphics showing us the line work as we go. And we'll give that just a moment. And now you can see that the software has actually gone in and created line works from that field book using our line code set that we implied. And we come in and look, now we've got curves, sidewalks, we've got our buildings located, and important information from our survey data, edge of pavements, that sort of thing. And all of that in a matter of seconds. So if we turn the point layers off and turn the lines off showing our network, the majority of our line work would be complete, and we haven't done any drafting by hand. Everything just came in automatically. So if you guys aren't using this technology now, give us a call, because we would love to help you get this set up in your operation to speed up your survey field to finish work.